in degree 4th semester in Riemann integration important theorem, fundamental theorem of integral calculus. State and prove fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Fundamental theorem of integral calculus. This is one of the important theorems in Riemann integration. So statement: if f is Riemann integrable on closed a comma b and phi is a primitive of f and phi is a primitive of f, then integral a to b f of x dx is equals to phi of b minus phi of a. This is statement. So what it says that if phi is a Riemann integrable on closed a comma b and phi is a primitive of f, then we have to prove that integral a to b f of x dx equal to phi of b minus phi of a. So in any theorem proof, first we have to write what they are given. So for everything we have to write definitions. First, what they are given, phi f is Riemann integral on closed a comma b. So first we have to write the definition of Riemann integrability. Given that f is Riemann integrable on closed a comma b. So by the definition, for p is equals to x naught equal to a, x1, x2 so on, xn is equals to b of a comma b, where p is a partition of closed a comma b and xr minus 1 less than or equal to xi r less than or equal to xr, where r is equals to 1, 2 so on n, then limit now p tends to 0 sigma n running from 1 to infinity, r running from 1 to n, phi of xi r delta r is equals to integral a to b f of x dx. This is the definition of Riemann integrable. So what is the definition? P is a partition of closed a comma b. So let us consider a partition P, and xi r is the element in between xr minus 1 comma xr, where r running from 1 to n. So for r equal to 1, x1 minus 1, x0 less than or equal to xi1 less than or equal to x1. So like that for r equal to 1 to n. So what is the definition of integral a to b f of x dx? Limit now p tends to 0 sigma r running from 1 to n phi of xi r delta r. So this is LHS, integral a to b f of x dx definition. Next. So next what they are given, phi is a primitive of f. So given that phi is a primitive of f. What it means? It means that phi dash of x is equals to f of x for all x belongs to closed a comma b. This is the definition. Okay. Phi dash means derivative of phi. Therefore, phi is derivable on closed a comma b. Since phi is derivable, phi is continuous. That implies phi is continuous on closed a comma b. Okay. Phi is derivable, phi is continuous. Therefore, we can use Lagrange's mean value theorem. So by Lagrange's mean value theorem, mean value theorem. So what it says, what this theorem says that if phi is derivable and phi is continuous, then phi of b minus phi of a by b minus a equal to phi dash of psi r. In this, we can write phi is continuous on closed a comma b implies continuous on closed xr minus 1 comma xr. There is an interval xr minus 1 comma xr. For this, we have to write this theorem. So phi of b means phi of xr minus phi of xr minus 1 by xr minus 1 equal to phi dash of xi r. This is the definition. This is the Lagrange's mean value theorem. What Lagrange's mean value theorem says that if phi is derivable on closed xr minus 1 comma xr, phi is continuous on closed xr minus 1 comma xr, then phi of xr minus phi of xr minus 1 by xr minus 1 equal to phi dash of xi r. This is the Lagrange's mean value theorem. So from this we can write phi of xr minus phi of xr minus 1 is equals to phi dash of xi r into xr minus xr minus 1. So apply sigma on both sides. Now apply sigma on both sides. Then that implies sigma r running from 1 to n phi of xi r minus phi of xi r minus 1 phi of xr minus phi of xr minus 1 is equals to sigma r running from 1 to n phi dash of xi r into xr minus 1 means length of the rth subinterval delta r. Okay. Next, r running from 1 to n. We have to expand this sigma. Then first r equal to 1, phi of x1 minus phi of x1 minus 1 x0. This is first term. Plus second term, phi of x2 minus phi of x1. Plus so on. Last term, phi of xn minus phi of xn minus 1 is equals to sigma r running from 1 to n phi dash of xi r. Phi dash of xi r. Phi dash of x means f of x. Phi dash of xi r means f of xi r delta r. Okay. Now plus phi of x0 minus phi of x0 get cancelled. Phi of x2 minus phi of x2 gets cancelled. So all terms are cancelled except phi of xn and phi of x0. So we can write phi of xn minus phi of x0 is equals to sigma r running from 1 to n f of xi r delta r. Apply limit on both sides. Then limit now p tends to 0 phi of xn minus phi of x0 is equals to limit now p tends to 0 sigma r running from 1 to n phi of xi r delta r. Here now p tends to 0. So here there is no p. So xn means b, x0 means a. So we can write it as phi of b minus phi of a is equals to limit now p tends to 0 sigma r running from 1 to n phi of xi r delta r. From 1, this is the definition of Riemann integrable. From 1, what do we write there? Limit now b tends to 0 sigma r running from 1 to n f of xi r delta r equal to integral a to b f of x dx. So we can write in place of this integral a to b f of x dx, that implies integral a to b f of x dx is equals to phi of b minus phi of a. This is the fundamental theorem of integral calculus. Okay. So in any theorem, first we have to write the definitions in that theorem. So what they are given? F is Riemann integrable. So by the definition of Riemann integrability, so what is the definition? Integral a to b f of x dx is equals to limit now b tends to 0, sigma r running from 1 to n, phi of xi r delta r. So next, what they are given? Phi is primitive of s. F means f dash of phi dash of x equal to f of x. Therefore phi is derivable. Implies phi is continuous on closed a comma b. So we have taken interval xr minus 1 comma xr. So by Lagrange's mean value theorem we can write like this. Then by do all this we can get phi of b minus phi of a equal to integral a to b f of x dx. Hence this is the Lagrange's, this is the fundamental theorem of integral. Okay, thank you.